Hey guys, this is going to be a short video on how I sharpen my chainsaws. I use the Stihl, I forgot what the name of this is, but I use one of their files. And I'll show you, I'll go through the steps on how I properly do it. To start things off, I always mark, if you can see that, I had some spray chalk. You can use whatever, a marker, paint, whatever. Always mark the tooth where you start, so that when you're going along, you know when you get to that point where you're first sharpen. On these files, they actually give you a little guide. You just line up the saw right there with the way the orientation is of your saw and basically start filing. When you're filing, you want to do the same amount of strokes for each tooth, along with the same pressure. I think that was 10, I wasn't counting. Whenever you're doing the strokes too, you always want to push back against the tooth. You never want to push down. This kind of prevents you from pushing down because it has these like extra bars on here. But if you were just using a standard free file, you'd never push down, you always push back against the tooth. Not crazy hard, but just enough to the point where you're kind of giving it some tugging back there. So go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So just keep doing that for this side, and then you can flip around like that, and then do the other side. There's some people that are gonna probably tell me, they're gonna be like, oh, you should put the bar in a vise and then sharpen it. But honestly, this is how I do it. You probably couldn't see it in the last couple shots. I just push the handle up against something like a wall or whatever, and just make sure you're wearing a shitty kind of jacket. And just press up like that, and then that's perfect right there. So. All right, so that was the last one there. I did both sides. So now I'll go ahead and take the chain off the bar. I'm gonna flip the bar this time. I had it flipped last time. Basically, the rule of thumb is whenever you sharpen the chain, you always wanna flip the bar. It's just, you wanna evenly wear out each side of the bar. And this side might be really mushroomed over, so I'll show you how to sharpen that too. I forgot to mention these files, they also file down the rakers. They have a flat file in there. So when you're going along, it's over there, they'll go right along and take down your rakers. Now, I'd recommend wearing gloves doing this. You don't really have to wear gloves when you're sharpening the chain, but I've noticed I got cut the most from handling the bar, because the edge of that bar, that rail it sits in, that's super sharp. You know, you rub your finger along that edge, it's crazy sharp. So you can see it's not too bad. There's a little bit of a lip, but what you do is you just get a flat file and you just kind of go along and just push that edge back up. Nothing crazy. You want to maintain that sharp edge. but this isn't really bad at all. So I do it every single time I sharpen the chain. See, now it's, you can feel, you rub your finger along it. I know I have gloves on, but see, that's not bad. I'll hit the top quick. This is a flat file too. Technically it's not flat, it's triangle, but it's got flat sides. And now is also a good time just to, do a general inspection. If there's anything stupid, make sure the nose sprocket spins freely and it's not tight. Obviously, when you're cutting, you'd notice if it was tight, but better to do this now in a garage than out in the field. And that's a bad burr. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can see it in the light. So that you want to file down. Yeah, that's really getting worn in there. Jeez. Yeah, somebody let me know down in the comments, why does the bar get so burred on the nose there like that? I guess that's where the chain, oh yeah, I guess the chain doesn't sit on this part of the nose. It sits on the sprocket. So I don't know if you can see that. You can see actually where the chain is wearing. And then where it lifts up, right there you can see the hump. Chain lifts up from the bar, goes on the sprocket, and then comes back on. That's crazy. I never noticed that. Alright, basically when you flip the bar, just exactly what I say. It would be flipped just like that. Guys that say, oh, you're not supposed to have it like that, it's on the wrong way because the lettering, they don't know chainsaws, so don't listen to them. A real person that knows how to use a chainsaw, they flip their bar every time you sharpen the chain. So let's put that back on and maybe inspect the air cleaner and stuff. Whenever you're tightening your chain, whether it's now or if it's out in the field, whatever, you always want it just to the point where it snaps back to the bar. So in other words, you see how it's hanging down like that, the bottom side? You don't want that. You want to tighten it just up until it's snug to it, and then when you pull that chain, see, even that, it's still kind of hanging a little low. Just until that chain snaps back, not crazy tight. You know, I'll show you what tight is. If it's too tight, you can overheat the chain. See? Yeah, that's, you can't pull it up, it's that tight. You'll know when it's really tight. So just up until it touches the bar. Now sometimes on some saws, if you tighten the bar nuts, it might tighten the chain again, but you can always just go back and check and adjust accordingly. Yeah, that's good. See, I like that. Maybe that's a little tight, but it is cold. When the saw starts running, you got to realize this chain gets hot. Metal expands when it gets hot. So right now that it's cold, I'm like that though. That's good. So that's all done. Chain's all sharpened. Bar is flipped. I did put a new air cleaner on this like 2 weeks ago, but I've been doing a lot of cutting. So we'll just take a gander at it. Peek underneath. I'm real happy with this saw. Usually I'm not a Stihl guy, but when it comes to Stihl, their chainsaws are the way to go. Nothing else though. You want trimmers, blowers, anything like that, you go with Echo. Yeah, everything looks fine in there. I'll just bang this out quick. All right, she's all good. I'm content with that.